Okay, we're going to talk about storytelling ability in your quick sketches. The ability for you to tell story. It doesn't have to be a complicated story, but it's story. Who, what, when, why, where, and how. Answering those questions, not always answering all the questions in a particular sketch, but giving enough information. And that's what story is about. Story is about information. Everybody has a story. And when the people that you're sketching, um, they have a story. And so, what is that story? And what are you going to put down in line to help tell your story about who you've drawn? In this example, you see two people doing a similar thing. They're both looking at either magazine, newspaper, and by utilizing, again, simple shapes, right? We talk about simple shapes and finding the simple shapes in the characters that you're drawing, objects that you're drawing. In this case, you've got a triangular shape within another triangular shape. That's what I saw when I saw this gentleman reading a newspaper. So it wasn't so much I'm looking at him, but I'm looking at what he brings to mind as I look at this pose that he had taken. Uh, and when I started to draw, you know, just basically threw this in, and you can actually see the triangular shape that I started with here. And again, the head, and I'm giving this little line here is giving what direction. Remember, we talked earlier about it's being shorthand. Shorthand. He's up against the wall. He's got hands. So this is just my shorthand, right? The feet are just no more than just triangular shape. Again, basic shapes, right? And newspaper, and adding a little flair to the newspaper by folding a corner. But this is just a quick way of getting down a story, right? He's sitting down, he's looking, he got his head slightly tilted. He's looking at the newspaper.
Welcome to New Masters Academy, the best place to get art education online. Master the skills of figure drawing, painting, sculpting, and much more with the guidance of world-renowned artists. Embark on your creative journey today at anime.art.
This lady here, again, I'm looking at triangular shapes. I got a number of triangles, right? I'm looking at the triangular shape that's caused by her feet, leading up to the buttocks. I've got another triangular shape from her ankles up to her waist. And she's up against the wall here. And she's looking down at this square shape, right? We got basic shape, square. Is, and she's got like a big purse. But as you can see, there's a number of this triangular shape that's happening here that I started off with, you know, and building on that. So just by looking and seeing what does this bring to mind, but again, based on anatomy, right? There's a calf going on here. You can see that this shape here that's happening. She's up against a wall. Um, Again, the feet are no more than just triangular shapes. That's all you need. Because again, we're talking about a sketch done quickly, 60 seconds or less. I'm giving myself some time restraint. Uh, and again, circle for head, and see your head is away from the wall. So you got another triangular shape that's happening between the wall and the back of her head. You know, which helps me sell the idea that she's got some interest in um, the material that she's reading. There's silhouette value between her head and the book itself here. There's silhouette value here. There's silhouette value here. So you become literally your own editor, right? You're editing out and adding what you think is going to help tell your story the best way and the most forceful way within a short period of time. And every line is not an important line. And using a China marker or a pencil, you can vary the thickness and the density of the line. But with a pen, you only got one line. And so now, what's important about this one line? And so, so now I'm looking at what am I trying to say here in a short period of time? Every line is not an important line, but the lines we put down are important as far as our storytelling ability. And so, be very careful about what you choose to commit to your paper, right? Every line is not an important line, but the line we put down should help tell our story. Again, and going back to our basic shapes, you can't get around those basic shapes. And we take a look at our sketch. Again, we got circle for a head. We've got another circle here, and that was indicative of the shoulder. Right? We got shoulder. We got this shape. We have a triangular shape. We have a shape for the hand. We got based on anatomy. We got again the closeness to the wall, the back against the wall, leading down to the hips area. So again, find those basic shapes within um, the shape that we're drawing. It was important that she's come off as a female, and so that line is important. These lines here help define her. She's got a purse, which is a rectangle shape. So again, storytelling, storytelling in the sense of two people doing the same thing, but finding the basic shapes, um, their interest, their story that they're telling. Get more storytelling with the pose itself. You've got, I think I was in Paris. This was done in Paris. There was some art students out drawing. I think was a fountain they were drawing. You can see that the student was looking at what she was drawing, um, and this student was actually really engrossed in drawing and seeing what she was drawing. She was studying what she was going to be drawing. She was actually drawing it. Okay, so we have two students doing the same thing, pencil in hand, pad in hand, but again, their stories are different. So we're telling stories in line, okay? And again, you can see that it's not necessarily to make a full-fledged illustration, but putting enough information down in which to answer some of the who, what, when, why, where, and how questions. Person who is drawing, she's intently looking at what she's doing. You see the distance between her face and her pad, whereas there's a little bit more distance between this student's pad and where her face is, because again, her attention is looking at what she's going to draw. Again, that's information. That's informational. I didn't start out to answer those questions, but finding that interesting pose, which allowed me to tell their story at that particular moment in time. That's what you're looking for in your sketches to storytell. because again, each and every individual has a story to tell, and we're going to help that process along with our pen on paper. But again, looking at what I saw in this pose, I saw a triangular shape, right? I got this triangular shape from her knees to her ankles to her feet. Got this round shape that's going to happen here, and the head and the pad. But again, it wasn't necessary that I drew the whole of it out. What I had was the direction of the hair, I had the ear, I had the eyeglasses. So that's all I needed to tell the story. Right? That's all I needed. So this is all I needed to tell her story. Uh, the direction of her head indicated by the glasses, the ear, and her proximity um, to the pad that she was writing on or drawing on in this case. The body type, you know, her body type was important, but that's the pose. This basically that says it, as far as this pose is concerned. Again, for this pose, again, we're more upright. And, but that's the pose, that's your pose. And again, looking at this line here, my shorthand for the spine, and then having something to build on that, build on that. And you can see these lines here give an indication that these pants are wrapping around the legs here, and coming out of that, and they're going to the foot. And again, the foot is simply just a triangular shape. The head is basically a circle, and because she got this little bun in the back, that says it. She's got the glasses on, uh, but that basically says information about this pose. Okay? There's much information that I'm going to need to sell this pose. Okay, and using the props of the straps on the back to help sell the form of what's happening uh, with the body itself, and that she's sitting on some steps. So this line is pretty flat right here because she's sitting on some steps. So so I'm giving just general information about the pose, but the simplicity of it. Again, because of the time restraint, we don't have a whole lot of time to put down a whole lot of information, but the information you put down should help tell the story of the pose. So we're gonna go through and take a look at um, some examples of storytelling within our quick sketches. Here's an example of of 3, 4 uh, females walking, okay? And the distance between the feet will tell us approximately how fast they're going, right? Uh, the closer the feet are together, as far as a walk is concerned, then that's giving information that it's more of a leisurely walk. It's not very not in a hurry. But the more the distance you put between feet, then that says that more of a hurried walk. And so you can tell these women here and here are in so much of a hurry. They need to get somewhere. They're walking with a purpose. And based on the anatomy and the dynamics of a walk, So you can see from this line here that's leading down from the pit of her neck, leading down, which would eventually be where her belly button would be and her waist would start. We've given some information that helps me to make a more accurate drawing of this lady who's, again, got a pretty good walk in the sense as I observed, I'm seeing the distance between her foot, the one that's planted and the one that's getting ready to be planted on the ground. And she's in the midst of this walk, also carrying a young child. Uh, and again, I'm looking at this moment in time. What's transpiring in this moment in time? Observation, looking at this lady come forward, walking towards me. Again, you got I start off with my circle. I'm looking and I'm seeing, where her head is, where the eye line is, where the center line is on her head. And again, this line here, my shorthand for the sternum, lean back here, and I'm also aware of this leg's coming forward, and this leg is back. So what we got here, going here, it's going to give me a pretty good idea of where that back foot is, and that back foot is just basically a triangular shape, right? You can't get away from those basic shapes, and distance from here to here. And this is giving me information as to where the leg is. You see this line is coming right down through here. That's the upper thigh line, right? The upper thigh line that runs into the calf muscle and the backside. If you would carry that on through and then right on into this foot that's happening here. And what we're seeing is the underside of the foot, right? And this negative shape that's happening here. Yes, it's helping give me information that I'm passing on to anybody who would see this drawing. Uh, you can see that this deltoid muscle, this half moon muscle that's happening right here, this half moon here, you can see that it's in front of this here. It's in front of this bicep that's happening here. If you can see how this overlaps that, and that's there for a purpose, because that tells me that this shoulder here is in front of this arm here, which is in front of this wrist here, going back to the hand here. Okay, that's my shorthand, And again, this line that's happening right here to here, which is this line here, because when this leg is forward, then that means this leg is, or excuse me, this arm is going back into space. And so that's, again, that's informational, okay? That's story, that's giving me information that this is what's happening here as the upper torso is doing this, and this is giving me indication of where the chest or breast would be. Got a short, this is telling me where the clothing would drape around the neck. Just basic information, that I'm trying to, that's being passed on through this. You can see that she's wearing shorts, right? So it gives me answer the question of when, all right? Who, what, when, why, where, and how. If she's wearing shorts, it's got to be warm or summertime, okay? And this foreleg here is going back into space, but I really don't have to say that. But you can also see that I've got a little indication of where the knee would be, right? The knee would be. And coming off of that, where the knee would be, and then coming off of that, it's going to be where the upper leg and the calf run into upper leg, lower leg, going down to my the shoes that she was wearing, right? And in this case, my shorthand is just a triangular shape. But again, I've got a knee established. This is the knee. This indicates my knee. Okay. Okay. And again, we got upper torso, um, lower torso, pushing in from here, and here, here. And again, we got our negative shape, negative space that's happening between the upper torso and the arm here. And she's again walking forward in the shape of that this is happening from the knee down to the ankle. And that's giving us basically this type of a cylinder, which is leading up to the knee, which is going to go up to the calf, which is going to connect to the foot, the bottom of the foot that we're going to see. But that's what I'm thinking. So this is the thought process of these lines, which are again very quickly done. Realizing there's only 60 seconds or less to get this down on paper. And what do I want to say about this lady? Well, I'm saying that she's got a pretty brisk walk. She's got if this leg is forward, then it's forward. The other leg is back, and I don't have to do anything other than put this as far as a direction of where the shorts that she's wearing, and I don't have to do that to the other side, because this automatically says that, yeah, well, if it's happening here, it's going to be happening here, so I don't need to put it there. And here's she's also carrying a little child, and what we have just a circle, right? We got a upper torso that's happening here. We've got just a couple of little indications for legs, and we got a couple of indications for arms. Nothing really detail. And that's all we need. Because this is a story we're telling about this lady who's carrying a child. So do we need to say more than that? No, we don't, because the drawing says it all, right? She's got the babe in arms, and we're doing this. And that's basically all we need, because again, this arm here is going to go with this leg here as it comes forward, as the body twists. And this is going back into space. And this, I believe, she was wearing she had some glasses, right? And so even though it doesn't come off as glasses, but this is what this is on top of her head. Okay. She had her glasses pumped up there, and she had her hair was pulled back, probably I think in a ponytail, and so her hair was wrapped around her head. But again, it's enough information for me, right? But it makes an interesting drawing. This is somewhat of an interesting drawing as I take a look at it and see the basic shapes that I'm looking for: the circle, the triangle, more triangular shapes, rectangular or cylinder shapes, things that seem to be coming towards me.